right now. My suggestion to the committee would be to keep the money in a symposium, a Heritage Symposium 2023, part of our budget, and plan something else with the Heritage House Museum that, maybe what Mary said, trivia night with maybe in a pub where we can have a drink and try to guess the trivia or whatever. But I really don't think having a Heritage Symposium with the short time we have to prepare it and all of the other things is going to be a good idea. That's my thoughts.
Well, it's certainly that we can't get the Station Theater it's sad.
No, yes, right.
Jenny, how do you feel?
I tend to agree with Lorraine. I think it's unfortunate. I'd love to see it happen in 2022, but I'm worried about the time it's going to take to plan a really good symposium, and like we're already almost into May, so I'm just concerned about the time that it's going to take to get it organized. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if we can do it justice this year.
Okay, Chris, what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know that I'd have the time to serve on a symposium committee this year, so there's not much I could offer if we decide to go ahead with it.
Yeah,
I just I don't see myself finding the time to put in, because I know it's a huge, we put all kinds of time into it in the past with getting these things going.
Okay,
and I know Dorothy said that I don't think she said she wouldn't be able to join a committee either. So
yeah.
Okay.
Carl, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Well, I think Mary covered it very well in her report. I think it's very fair to say that if we were to proceed with a symposium, then we would need to get started on that very quickly. We do have additional municipal staff resources to help in a greater fashion than we would have in the past, and certainly I don't know who would serve on that, but there is the committee may wish to consider the possibility if the committee would be interested in a symposium, a working group organizing it can include non-committee members as well. There could be folks who are interested in the symposium, interested in helping, but aren't or don't wish to actually be MHC members. So that's something for the committee to consider as well. But ultimately, the symposium is, of course, it is an event of the Municipal Heritage Committee, and if the committee feels that this is something that's best saved for next year and started earlier, then that's definitely direction, and staff are pleased to work with MHC however MHC wishes to proceed.
Thank you. Yeah, and I agree also, but I would really like to see a working group formed and have an agenda of seeing things done each month from now on, rather than the last 3 months. You know what I mean? Looking for speakers.
Yeah, it does take a lot of time. That's a good idea, Katie.
Booking the theater, getting it ready for next year rather than.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here, Mary?
So I guess if you would like to make a motion regarding postponements or canceling of the 2022 Heritage Symposium for this year with the intention to reconvene in 2023, staff would appreciate that. I do like your suggestion, Katie, of essentially getting started now on next year's symposium, because the intention was for this additional money to be for a rager of a symposium. So I mean, by all means, if we want to discuss the possibility of a working group now, it is by all means early, but that is also a discussion that can be reconvened later by staff. You just have to give me direction as to when you would like it brought forward.
Carl?
One other possibility, and I'm not sure it would be a bit of a change in tack, but is there could the committee, if the committee is simply interested in having a little bit more time, is there viability in potentially exploring booking the station theater at a different time, say November or January or February for a symposium?
Lorraine?
I think there's value in having it at the same time every year, especially if it's something that the committee, the Heritage Committee, feels is going to be yearly. I think people get used to having something that's yearly on the same, around, at least close to the same time. And yeah, I think the best thing to do is just, I like Katie's suggestion, we could start a working group and then just, they can get together and do some thinking, because the thinking of the big ideas and the people then you want to have takes a lot more time than anything else, really.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, yep.
Sorry, Katie, Chris had
Go
his virtual hand up. I just wanted to make sure you saw that.
no, I didn't. Go ahead, Chris.
Thanks, Mary. The only thing I was thinking with the dates is that our term ends, I think, in November. So technically there'll be a new MHC. Hopefully everybody's coming back, but just a consideration of, we're kind of getting to the end of our group's go. And I guess too, if we weren't going to do it, then looking into other things, I think there's all kinds of things that we could spend that money on that would really be excellent. Like at the Heritage Conference this year, there's a talk on heritage security and accessibility by Carl Bray. Maybe we could use that for some renderings that do heritage sympathetic accessibility drawings for businesses, or get some more buildings outside of the potential HCD designated. I think we've got lots of stuff that we could do. It's just, especially with the conference so close to home this year. I guess, I don't mind putting it off.
Okay, thank you. So who would like to, I'd like to make that motion that Mary spoke on. Lorraine? Okay, and a seconder? Jenny? All in favor? You want to repeat it, Mary, or do you have it down?
I don't have it down, but generally speaking, the motion is to postpone. I can use the term council if you prefer, the 2022 Heritage Symposium, and reconvene planning for the 2023 year.
Correct. All in favor? And I saw Chris's hand. Okay, carried. Thank you. All right. Well, moving on. Properties of interest and heritage designations. We have the 3 that you supplied us with today.
Yep, so I can update you a little bit. So as the committee knows, it was a list of, I believe, 8 or 9 heritage properties of interest, which was a motion was passed to add to the Heritage Register as properties of interest in February 2022. And then there was 2 heritage designations, one for the Confederation Bridge and the other one for the Stone Arch Bridge on Beckwith Street there. That was passed in February 2022, but the key attributes were added in March 2022. So after a bit of discussion with Tony and Carl, right now we have slated May 9th to make a presentation to council on both of those. So the list of heritage properties of interest, as well as the 2 heritage designations for the bridges. So the statements that I provided the committee with are listing the key attributes that were taken from the minutes of last month's committee meeting. I was directed to include the attributes, so these are being circulated to you for your information. Given that we still have some time before the presentation to council, if you feel that there's any errors or corrections that are needed, just please let me know so I can make those corrections before the council presentation.
Okay, thank you. Has anyone read them? I mean, after you have read them, have you anything to add or change? Anybody? So, Lorraine? You're muted again. Sorry.
So sorry about that. The one on the bridge, the Beckwith Street Bridge, and the Confederation, was the Confederation Bridge the one that that the people did for the RFP?
That's right.
Okay, because it's just exemplary. I just would
Yes.
love that we could, that's what I would love if they could do all of them, or even do some rewrites, because I mean, Dorothy did an amazing job, but when you look at the detail, it must have taken them a lot of time to do that. And it's just such a,
Oh, sorry, were you asking if the Confederation Bridge was part of the bylaw rewrite project?
well,
that the
wasn't it part of the RFP that went out, the description of
No, I
those
don't believe it was part of the RFP. I must have misunderstood. Sorry, there's a project that has commenced on it. I believe it's more of a study though. Carl, that's a public works project. Do you recall?
Yes, I know the Public Works Department has hired their own consultant to do that investigation in advance of the work being done on that.
No, but when the council received that, you know, the RFP that was going out to people, the bridge was part of it.
Oh, for 25 Old Mill Road?
Yeah.
Okay,
bridge was
so I
part of
wasn't aware of that. That was an economic.
Well,
development
Yeah,
project.
no, I'm pretty sure I thought that's why I was asking, was it the same one? Because I haven't had a chance to reread this one. But it was, what they wrote about that whole property was so exemplary. Like, it's the best thing I've ever read on a heritage building or property.
Okay. Let's see. So do we leave that, and if there are any changes or anything, people will get back to you, Mary?
Yes, please. I'll pull the finalized RFP and I'll circulate it to the committee so that they can use it to inform any changes. I'll do that this evening, and if anybody can get back to me on any changes before Friday evening, it would be appreciated.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. And moving on to the bylaw rewrite project.
Okay, I can update on this one too. So Carl and I had a meeting with MTBA, who is our consultants for the bylaw rewrite project. Just to recap, they are writing 15 bylaws for properties which have already been designated in Town of Smith Falls. So these are bylaw rewrites, and the bylaws will meet the current Ontario Heritage Act standards for heritage designating bylaws. They're also writing an additional 3 draft bylaws for properties that the committee has previously, I believe it was last fall, that they passed a motion for council to recommend that council designate them as heritage. So they're drafting 3 bylaws. That's for 39 Russell Street East, 110 Brockville Street, and 102 Brockville Street. So those are just drafts, and they'll be presented to council as possible designations as well. So we actually had heritage inspections of the interior of municipally owned buildings done yesterday by MTBA, and they said following those inspections that they should be able to finalize the drafts relatively quickly for committee review. So I'm actually expecting them for the committee meeting next month for the committee to have a look at.
Okay.
Were those properties of interest, right? That
They
you
were
just-
properties of interest that the committee has recommended they be designated.
So that's great. Great news that they're going to do that for us. Super.
Well, and as a result of this project, we'll also have a bylaw template. So we'll be able to use that for future designations as well.
Mhm. Amazing. Does anyone have anything to say on the roundtable? Nope. Okay, well then, next meeting, May the 18th at 4:30. Well, thank you, Mary, for all you've done. My goodness. It's great. And sadly, we will move the symposium till next year.
It happens. just a reminder, Katie, that if the committee's ready to adjourn, when they're ready to adjourn, that we'll need a motion for adjournment.
May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Lorraine, thank you. Seconded. Jenny, thank you. All in favor? I see Chris's hand. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. That's
Thank
it.
you, everyone. I think that's
Thanks,
it.
everyone. Bye,
Have a good
Chris.
night.